In Another Day in the Death of America, 2016, esteemed British journalist Gary Younge addresses the alarming statistic that 7 children in America die each day as a result of gun violence. He focuses on a particular day, November 23, 2013, when 10 children from diverse racial backgrounds, ages, and geographical locations tragically lost their lives due to senseless shootings. Younge deliberately selected these 10 victims because their stories received little attention in the daily news, shedding light on the disturbing normalization of gun violence in American society and the exceptional crime rates compared to other parts of the world. Throughout the book, Younge travels across the entire country, from California to the rural Midwest to urban Texas, providing a heart-wrenching snapshot of lives devastated by rampant gun violence. The book does not center around the debate of gun control, but rather highlights the consequences of its absence. Another Day in the Death of America received accolades, including the 2017 J. Anthony Lucas Award, being shortlisted for the 2017 Hurston Wright Foundation Award, longlisted for the 2017 Andrew Carnegie Medal for Excellence in Nonfiction, and being named a finalist for the 2017 Helen Bernstein Book Award for Excellence in Journalism. The narrative delves into the 24-hour period between November 23 and November 24, 2013. Author and longtime journalist for The Guardian, Gary Younge, upfrontly reveals that, on average, 7 deaths due to gunfire occur in America every day. However, on the randomly chosen date of November 23, 10 victims fell victim to gun violence. Younge emphasizes that 7 out of the 10 victims were African American, 1 was Hispanic, and 2 were white, underscoring the disproportionate racial element within American gun violence. The average age of the victims was a devastatingly young 7 years old, with the youngest being 9 and the oldest 19. Younge, in addition to his perspective as a British journalist, shares his personal reasons for writing the book, emphasizing his unique position as a father with Barbadian ancestry, stating that he has black skin in the game. Each fallen child is given a dedicated chapter, allowing Younge to explore both the striking differences and similarities in their stories. His investigation spanned a period of 18 months and drew from various sources, including interviews with friends, family, media reports, and police records. The youngest victim on November 23, 2013, was 9-year-old Jaden Dixon, who tragically lost his life to gunfire when his mother's enraged ex-boyfriend shot him for innocently opening the door at the wrong time. Jaden, a gentle and home-loving boy who enjoyed playing Battleship and watching the movie Cars, was senselessly taken from the world. In a similar vein, 11-year-old Tyler Dunn from rural Michigan also fell victim to a fatal shooting by someone he knew. However, Tyler's death was accidental, occurring when his friend, whose father had negligently left a loaded Remington shotgun in the room, unintentionally shot him. The oldest victim, chronicled by Younge, is 19-year-old Kenneth Miles Tucker, who was fatally shot in a car under unclear circumstances. Among the tragedies, Younge recounts the story of 16-year-old Samuel Brightman from Dallas, Texas. After spending the night playing Uno with his friend, Samuel offered to accompany him home. While walking, they noticed a parked car with dimmed headlights, thinking nothing of it. Suddenly, Samuel was gunned down in a drive-by shooting, and he was buried on his 17th birthday. Sadly, his killer remains unidentified and at large. Samuel's father, Willie, laments the lack of concern exhibited by white America towards these instances of gun violence victimizing black children. The news coverage of such incidents passes by in a fleeting moment on TV or in newspapers, quickly overshadowed by the next tragedy, thereby normalizing the abnormally high rate of gun violence in America. 2 more innocent victims are highlighted in the book, 16-year-old Honduran Edwin Raju and 18-year-old Gary Anderson. Edwin, a hyperactive teenager who likely had undiagnosed attention deficit disorder, ADD, playfully asked his girlfriend Camilla to pretend to shoot him. Unaware that the gun they had obtained was loaded with a live round, Camilla pulled the trigger, tragically ending Edwin's life. Gary Anderson, on the other hand, was a victim simply because he happened to be wearing a red hooded sweatshirt on November 23. While walking at night, he was shot and killed by a man who mistook him for someone else in a red hoodie. As the narrative progresses, Younge differentiates between innocent victims and those who may have had a troubled past, highlighting the point that even individuals with criminal records or who made poor choices in a harsh and unforgiving environment should never be subjected to senseless acts of gun violence. One such example is 18-year-old Tyshawn Anderson, who lost his life in a gang-related altercation in Chicago. Tyshawn's mother, Regina, expresses conflicting emotions, stating, "I hate the fact that he's gone, but I also see it as a relief that he won't be out there killing or being targeted anymore." In his effort to provide context, Younge delves into America's Second Amendment, which grants the right to bear arms, as well as the influential pro-gun lobby, the National Rifle Association, NRA. He also explores how African American parents have grown desensitized to the escalating rates of gun violence, accepting it as a normalized part of their communities. Instead of challenging the systemic causes of poverty and crime, they often resort to promoting personal responsibility as a means of addressing the issue. Younge argues that decades of institutional racism have contributed to a pervasive gun culture within African American communities throughout the country. Younge underscores the tragic loss of life in all cases, regardless of the victim's innocence levels. Another Day in the Death of America has garnered acclaim as a heartrending, beautifully written book according to Kirkus Reviews, while The Root describes it as a powerful and necessary account of one of the deadliest epidemics ever to sweep across America. Library Journal hails it as a gripping and eloquent work, albeit challenging due to the brutal nature of its subject matter. Currently, a feature film adaptation of the book is in production, with esteemed British actor David Oyelowo set to star. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.